The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by the hosts, guests, and callers on Beyond the Headlines are not necessarily those of management, ownership, or production unit of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without express written permission of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2021.
Coming up tonight, could a dark Christmas be a reality for Eleutherians? It's a legitimate question for you tonight as power outages persist even now. The news is even more vexing because for many on the island, this is day 6 without water. Eleuthera, we have a problem. Tonight, we are live in Harbour Island to check if the power has been restored. Then we hear firsthand from the chairman and general manager of the Water and Sewerage Corporation, Jadaret and Robert Deal. They join me this evening. A little bit later, we have you ordered an electronic device and hoping to have it just in time for Christmas, but are being told something else? Well, Consumer Protection Commission Chairman Senator Randy Roll is here to give you some helpful information. This is Beyond the Headlines. Good evening. I'm Shanique Miller. It's great to have you along this evening. Well, this evening, Beyond the Headlines was informed that the power in Harbour Island as far south as Wim's Bight also was off. All too common an occurrence on the island of Eleuthera these days, with the residents trying to move past a weekend where there were marathon blackouts and water outages. In fact, this show understands in some areas water has been off for around 6 days. Well, residents are in fear that if this keeps up, Eleuthera just might have a dark Christmas with no water as well. Joining me this evening is Harbour Island resident and businesswoman Quinnell Albury. Good evening to you, Quinnell. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines. I'm happy that you're able to get on because I know it looks like you have power.
It just cut on literally 2 minutes.
You're talking just now because I know just before airtime you were off.
Yes, literally about 2 minutes ago, and my solar panel guy is literally calling me, and I'm like, I can't talk right now. I'm on with Shanique Miller. It is crazy.
My God. How long has it been?
It's ridiculous.
How long was it off today?
I'm not even sure. I got home shortly after 6, and it was just restored.
It was just restored now at 8:12. Well, 8:10.
Yes.
10 minutes
Yeah.
after 8. Listen, did this power outage affect the entire Harbour Island?
So I'm not sure so much about Harbour Island in its capacity. I know some people were on that I reached out to, but definitely North Eleuthera, Three Island Dock area, we were all out of power.
All out of power. Now, the thing is, and I saw in the BPL group that persons in as far south as Wim's Bight also complaining of power outages. So it continues to be just really across the island of Eleuthera. Now, you're a real estate agent. You're a real estate agent. This intermittent power that's been happening all weekend through right now, this evening until about 2 minutes ago, really is something that has the residents of Eleuthera very nervous, particularly a high-end destination like Harbour Island. And I say that because earlier this evening, while in the dark, you received a call inquiring about an Airbnb in Harbour Island for the weekend of New Year's, that whole weekend, that week right there in the lead up to New Year's, where an Airbnb goes for $150,000 a week. Am I correct that you just got that call?
Yes.
What makes you nervous about these issues and that call?
It does. Not only are we right now having power issues, we're also having water issues. And I was on a call the same time you were calling me with a homeowner who's right now in Rome. And she was saying at that point in time, which I think was after 6, that, it's midnight there. And we were trying to conclude and lock in on, some rental proposals for the New Year week, and she wanted to rent her house for $150,000 just for that New Year's week, and $49,000 for the Christmas week. But these are the ongoing issues that we're facing going into the Christmas holiday. It's crazy. Like, the island is such a lucrative island, and we can do so much for this country with the amount of funds that come into the island. But where is it going back to? It's not going back to us.
How do you?
Yes, now we're now taxing these homeowners for these rentals, and we're not seeing the tax that we're collecting off these rentals poured back into our island.
Right,
That's
because
$15,000 the government collects, but yet here we are, in darkness, trying to get good reception on a call.
yeah, I know, because that was
It's
part of the
crazy.
issue we had just until a couple of minutes ago, because we could not reach you to get on. It was
Yeah.
just in and out
Yeah.
because the power has been out, which affects everything else.
It sure does.
Now let's talk about these
It's a
issues
trickling effect.
and how
the
they.
power goes out, the water goes out.
How do these issues affect when you're talking about rentals for $150,000 a week, but then obviously it can't necessarily happen because the power is inconsistent, the water is inconsistent. Are you able to hear me?
Well, what we try to encourage our homeowners to do, sorry, I think it might have broken up again. But what we try to encourage our homeowners to do is, sustain themselves on their own. We encourage them to do the solar panels. We encourage them to have their water systems and their water tanks. But the common Bahamian cannot afford these things. So this call really isn't about them. They can sustain themselves. And that's why we're getting so bought out of Harbor Island. It's unfair. Why do we have to live like slaves and, Stone Age in our own country, on our own island? We're being pushed into little corners on our own island because we cannot sustain a good life. And if we're not being pushed into corners because we don't own a piece of Harbor Island, we're being pushed onto the mainland.
I agree with you because it's so.
Because we cannot afford to live there. But that's the topic for another day.
Absolutely. I'm told that tourism is booming on Harbor Island in particular right now. You can't find an empty room, Airbnb, hotel, whatever it is. The thing is, though, let's just talk about, like you say, you're being squeezed.
The trick to that is why, that is why my homeowner for the New Year's week can rent her house for so much, because she's like probably the last house available right now.
Wow.
And
so the
people
demand
are going to spend that money and they're going to book it because they want to be here.
the demand
But
is
they
high.
don't want a Black Christmas. My God.
No, they don't. But let's go back to the Bahamians that you talk about. Many Bahamians are trying to do business, take advantage of the booming economy that is Harbor Island. However, they are unable to really be competitive or even participate. Justin, if you can pull up the photograph of the laundromat that's closed. Tell us the story about that.
Yeah. So they ended up having to close their business due to no water outage. And you'd see it's there on the sign. Straightforward. I mean, what is there to say? Businesses are closing. And this company in particular, they do the laundry for many of the homes on the island. And each home has housekeeping daily. So how are the, homes are supposed to make it? Their prime location for their laundry is
There's
closed.
the laundromat right there, absolutely. And so obviously this is affecting business. People who are trying to be self-sufficient themselves and do what it is that we all encourage to do, take advantage, could create something, a service that you can then make a living off of. But here you are not able to properly do that.
Yeah, so it all draws back to do we have to take matters into our own hands? Because if that's the case, then we don't need the government. We don't have to pay the government. We can just do our own thing. Do we have to take the matters? But it's by choice or by force at this point, because we cannot continue to live like this.
No, I imagine it's quite frustrating.
If everyone in Parliament experienced their homes being out of utilities, the basic necessities, light, water. We're not even going to go into cable. not even going to go into internet. Just light and water for 1 week. If they all were to experience that for just 1 week each, I can assure you they would do something about it quickly. They cannot even do it for 1 day, much less a week. But we are subject to these things on a consistent basis. From 1979, did you see that?
I saw the article,
Did you see that
Justin.
Tribune
If
report?
you have that, Justin, you know it's so funny. This and none of these things are new. In fact,
From 1979.
they've been lingering for decades. There's a Tribune article that I sent to the production team talking about Harbor Island's water issues. Right there, Harbor Island's agony, life with no electricity and running water. And so this has been just one. From then, the people of Harbor Island have been trying to get utilities and get the proper utilities and services on a consistent basis on the island. And the island has now grown. The island has become a major tourist, if not the leading tourist destination in the nation of very high-end discerning tourists. And obviously, you want to have these amenities in place to keep them coming back and to keep the tourism industry and the economy there growing.
What Harbor Island is known as, what they're calling Harbor Island right now, is a billionaire's playground. That's what Harbor Island is called and known as, the billionaire's playground. It used to be the biggest secret. Now it's called the billionaire's playground.
I guess the ground is dry,
For me, right. So for me, though, is this what Lyndon fought for? Is this what he really fought for? For 50 years later, us to still be in the same state as from years ago? Like, what was the purpose? What was the point in it? What's the point of the independence if we still cannot be independent, right? If we still cannot function as a country that can sustain its people and grow its people and grow its economy, why are we still struggling to do these things? Why are we still struggling to give the people the things that they need just to live? Just to live. Why are we still here?
Legitimate question this evening from Quennell Adderley, speaking really the voice of Eleuthera this evening on the show. And she's right. You know, when Sir Lyndon and his team led the Bahamas into independence, certainly they did not think 5 decades later this would be an issue.
I'm sure not. We are still here fighting for water and power. It's baffling. Yes. It is heartbreaking because we have to live in these conditions. It is so bad that I saw on a status today that the fire victim, his water tank, his 20-gallon water tank was stolen.
So now it's becoming a situation where desperation is kicking in.
Desperation.
You know, I'll tell you,
when the government is leading us to.
When you see the very wealthy doing what they do in their area, and then you are hot and can't even take a shower on where you are.
Imagine the construction workers, the mechanics, these people who work in these dirty fields, getting off from work and coming home to no power and no water. You can't bathe. Come on. You can't bathe and you can't have a cool drink of water. Come on, hardworking people.
Quennell Albury, thank you very much for joining us here. I'm happy your power has been restored, though. It came on just after 8, and very happy for you and the other residents there, as well as in North Eleuthera. Hopefully the South can say the same thing. Thank you, and really just hope that a permanent fix is identified and then enacted there on the island of Eleuthera. It's necessary. It has to happen, especially in an area that is giving so much to the national economy and keeping many people on the island of Eleuthera employed and making a good, decent living. Thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. When we come back, we will be speaking with the chairman of the Water and Sewerage Corporation as well as the general manager. We're back right after this.
This Christmas, stay connected through all the family traditions. Holidaying is unwrapping gadgets, gigs, and gift cards. Sign up for a $64.99 or higher postpaid plan and get a free smartphone. 3 gigs of bonus data for 3 months and a chance to win a $100 gift card. We've got you covered with the ultimate postpaid deals. For more postpaid offers, visit us online at bdcbahamas.com.
Christmas is a season for reflection and renewal. We celebrate the birth of a baby who brought light into a world longing for hope. We thank God for our many blessings, and we commit to greeting our triumphs or troubles in the years to come with humility. Here's what I'm praying for this Christmas. I pray that every one of our children knows love and safety, and that each one has an opportunity to reach for the stars. I pray that the young Bahamian heroes working to protect our nation are themselves protected. I pray that the new generation of Bahamians building our country's bright future will always hold on to their determination. I pray that those who have become doubtful or grown distant from God are once again brought close, reminded of his love and mercy, because faith is our foundation. It is only when we align our hearts with God's will, when we trust in his grace, that we see our true strength as individuals, in our communities, as one nation under his light and love. I know you'll join me in these prayers for renewal, for transformation, and for one another. Merry Christmas. May God bless every one of us, and may God bless the Bahamas.
Comfort Suites Paradise Island is the best kept secret in the Bahamas. Located directly next door to the Atlantis Resort, you'll receive all the privileges of an Atlantis guest with all the benefits of a Comfort Suite stay. Enjoy everything Atlantis has to offer, including Aquaventure Water Park, plus all the amenities of Comfort Suites. Free Wi-Fi, free breakfast daily, and kids stay, play, and eat free. Visit ComfortSuitesPI.com.
For carpets, bed sheets, and bath mats, there's a place I know. For shower curtains, comforters, and window curtains, only one place to go. Fixing your home or automotive, there's no fuss. We put a smile on your face. Come and shop with us for all you need and more. Shop at AID for Christmas.
Dive into premium flavor with the new KFC Saucy Nuggets. Hand-breaded, juicy, and 100% real. Step your flavor game up with 8 pieces of our premium white meat KFC Nuggets. Sauced in your choice of one of 5 KFC sauces. Stinging honey garlic, guava barbecue, mango habanero, Korean barbecue, or signature barbecue. Do whatever the crunch you want with all 8 pieces of our new KFC Saucy Nuggets for just $7.95. KFC Saucy Nuggets Strip. It's finger-licking good.
So, who's driving tonight then?
Who's the best driver?
Guess who's driving?
Guess who's driving?
That's the bear of the Bahamas. I like to go down. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
This segment of Beyond the Headlines is brought to you by EV Motors. Drive the future with brand new 2024 electric vehicles. EV Motors, powering your journey.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. This evening we're going to get into really what's happening on the island of Eleuthera as it relates to the water supply. We've been hearing for months now what's happening with the electricity supply and the move to make it more efficient. That move is a little slow because you all see what's happening there. But what's going on with the water? We are going to get to the bottom of it. We are expecting the chairman of the Water and Sewerage Corporation, Jadoret, to join us. But right here this evening, we have the general manager of the Water and Sewerage Corporation, Robert Deal, here this evening. Good evening to you, Mr. Deal.
Good evening.
Do we have Jadoret? When we do, just bring him in. But good evening to you once again. How much of the island has been restored at this hour?
Well, Shanique, first and foremost, let me say on behalf of the corporation that we wish to express to our customers, particularly those in Central Eleuthera and those in North Eleuthera, Harbour Island, Spanish Wells, Russell Island, that we express our sincere apologies for the inconvenience they have experienced over the last several days. Most of the areas have been fully restored, but we know there's still one or two pockets that we have some low pressure complaints, no water complaints, and our team is still out working on them. Parts of Oleander Gardens in North Eleuthera, and also a few areas in the hilly areas in Harbour Island, but we are actively working on that. And we want to express our appreciation to our customers for their feedback over the last several days. Quite a few of our customers have expressed their concerns, their input. We have a very active Eleuthera hotline group. There are almost 600 customers in Eleuthera, and so they actively express what's happening. They give us updates of what's going on all hours of the day and night, and we actively respond to those complaints. And of course, to Ms. Albury, who was just on the laundromat, and all of our customers across Eleuthera, we're going to be constantly following up with them to find out what exactly is happening and how best we can resolve their complaints where they exist.
What is the issue? I mean, it's vexing, to watch the group and the people complain from early morning until late at night and then all over again very, very early the next morning about lack of water. We know about the power issues, but this water issue also persists. What is the issue?
Well, we had some very specific challenges this past weekend, primarily led by the very bad weather conditions in Eleuthera over the weekend. So we had major power and standby generator failures at both our Central Eleuthera and Bogue or North Eleuthera facilities on late Saturday night leading into Sunday morning. Thankfully, we were able to rapidly restore power at the Central Eleuthera plant, both with the assistance of BPL and with standby generation. We had some more struggles with the Bogue, primarily because the glass window bridge was closed, and our standby generator there had some major failures Saturday night into Sunday morning. And so we had to bring a generator from South Eleuthera into the north, but that access was not opened until Monday. So what we did on Sunday, we're working closely with BPL, they were able to restore some power to Bogue.
You all work closely with BPL?
Yep.
BPL is limping at best. I mean, limping at best. Like, why would the Water and Sewerage Corporation even depend in any which way on BPL?
Well, of course, you may be aware that our water supply production in the Family Islands and here in New Providence is heavily energy dependent. We use desalination process, which purifies seawater and produces fresh water, and so that's heavily energy dependent. And so the primary source of that energy is BPL. Of course, we have standby generation. So all of our facilities across Eleuthera have standby generation, but as I indicated, we had a major failure at the standby generator there at the Bogue on Saturday night into Sunday morning. We couldn't get another unit there until Monday morning. Once the bridge was opened, we got that in place. Just this evening, we were at the boat. We're shipping two more generators, major generators to Eleuthera. One going to the Bogue, so we could have two full capacity generators there, and the one that we brought up to the Bogue that came from our Waterford plant. So we're going to be replacing that to ensure that as we prepare for the holidays, that we have full standby capacity. We're also working very closely with Sun Oil. We were on the phone with them Saturday night, 11, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning, ensuring that we have all the fuel storage in place at these generators. That somewhat impacted us too at the Bogue because Sun Oil's major depot is in Governor's Harbour, and Eleuthera well, so there was a struggle getting across the bridge. But thankfully, we worked also closely with Rubis in North Eleuthera. They assisted us, St. George's Power and Spanish Wells. They sent us some diesel. And so we are very thankful for all of the corporate partners in Eleuthera who helped us this weekend. And of course, our customers, like I said, they are key to us, giving us their understanding, their patience as we try and wade through these latest challenges.
Justin, you appear to have alerted me that we have the chairman now joining us. Hello.
Yes, a pleasant good night, Shanique. It's a pleasure to be with you on tonight. I wish to just say good night also to your listening audience. Certainly with this season upon us, wish them a wonderful Yuletide season. And to the people of Eleuthera, we would like to just let them know how much we are working on their behalf. We cannot stress that point hard enough. I listened to the GM in Titley just now, and he is right on point with everything that we would have been doing. As a matter of fact, when you spoke to me earlier, Shanique, we were on our way to a meeting with Aqua Design, and so as to see how best we could kind of get to the bottom of all of this situation.
You all met with Aqua Design, the name that has not come up at all tonight. That is what people really want to know about. But let me ask you first, Mr. Chairman, how old are these generators? Because it all seems to be just like sort of patchwork, just trying to patch up and plug in and take like a piece of chewing gum and stick it right there and hope that everything operates well. How old are these generators that we know the power outages impact them, but just something is always going on. There's always something with the generators, the generation, all this stuff.
Well, Shanique, a generator could be just 1 year old, and it could really become problematic after a year, and that's because a standby generator is just that. It's not designed to run 24/7. And we've got generators over there because of the poor supply that we're getting by way of energy. Those generators are constantly running, and they're not designed for that. And so if you find that there are generators going down, it's because they're not designed to run 24/7. And there are times, Shanique, when power is up in Eleuthera, in a certain part of Eleuthera, but the voltage is dropping. So you don't necessarily see the light going off, but the RO plant feels that very, very, very much. And therefore, the generator is more reliant, I would say, for the production of water. But if you're using it constantly, then, the wear and tear comes about much, much quicker than it would if it were just sporadically being used here and there. So to answer your question, it could be a 1 year old generator and would still give you problems if it's being used constantly.
So it appears as though BPL's inefficiency is weighing heavily on water and sewerage and causing you all to not be able to deliver the service of water supply.
Well, one of the things we've done, Shanique, and I know this might not be the answer that you want to hear, but BPL is a sister company. And oftentimes we've gone through painstaking tasks not to necessarily point the finger at BPL. We've taken the brunt of the responsibilities time after time. We've taken blows after blows, and the root cause of the problem
was
is
BPL.
Poor power supply. But pointing the finger is not the answer. We just want to find an amicable solution so as to provide constant, consistent quality water to our customers, our people down there in Eleuthera.
You heard, this is the season. Eleuthera's tourism industry is booming, particularly in the north, especially Harbour Island. Certainly, of course, the Water and Sewerage Corporation and BPL would want to ensure that during this time, if only, it is able to provide consistent service in order to not cause further hurt, further loss, and just further frustration for those residents.
In short, what you've done, Shanique, just a second ago, is echoed what we would have discussed at our meeting today. We would have gone backwards and forward to arrive at just what you said just now. How do we make certain that the people of Eleuthera do not experience the kind of pangs they've experienced in the last couple of weeks? And I think we've done very well kind of pushing our point, making our position very clear, and also putting some guardrails in place so as to deliver exactly what you said just now. Now, that is dependent heavily on both sides kind of keeping their word and pushing forward to do all that we can. Water and sewage has always, and I would say this, we've always given everything that we've got for our Family Island residents. We have gone full throttle ahead. We fight day in and day out to make sure that we provide quality potable water for our customers. And what we did at the meeting today is to make sure that, there's no disruption, and we're very, very hard on making sure that our people are given that kind of service over the holiday season and beyond.
So, Mr. Jadaret and Mr. Deal, we were not aware, the Bahamian Joe public, especially the people of Eleuthera, that there was some communication happening with Aqua Design. Can you tell us what was agreed on? What's different now that they have not been doing as of last week that they will now start doing in order to keep the water on?
Well, as Shanique, as the chair mentioned, we had a high-level meeting today with Aqua Design, really addressing some of the major structural issues we have with them here in the Bahamas and their future here in the Bahamas. That meeting was led by high-level government officials involving officials from the Ministry of Finance, Water and Sewage, Office of the Attorney General, etc. Of course, meeting with Aqua Design and their attorneys, and so that will be progressing. But as you mentioned, our focus right now is really on our customers in Eleuthera, all across Eleuthera, whether it be the Bahamians and of course visitors to our shores. And so we have assigned a senior manager to Eleuthera. He went in on Monday morning, and he's focusing on all of our various systems, whether it be the systems in John Millis and Bannerman Town in the Deep South, the system in Waterford that supplies the Deep South of Eleuthera, the Roxanne Tarpon Bay system that supplies that area, and the naval base system. At the naval base, we plan on carrying out some major work starting on this Thursday to further bolster our water production at that location, because we still have some pockets of complaints, particularly in the high-level hilly areas of Palmetto Point, and we know that we have to increase our water production at the naval base to really ensure that we can provide 24/7 supply to those residents in Palmetto Point. So that's an ongoing challenge we're working to address. And of course, as you mentioned, in North Eleuthera, it's critical that we keep the Bogue, all 3 desalination trains running. We also working.
I was wondering if those storage tanks were in operation.
No, they are in operation. In fact, we're building 2 new tanks on Harbour Island. The first new tank is in service. The old tank has already been demolished, and we're building a new tank on that site. And we're already seeing the benefits of having that, because that old leaky tank on Harbour Island is now gone. And so our water losses are gone, and so we can see how we're building storage much faster. And it's critical for us to have full production at the Bogue, because of course that water then has to be transported across the Harbour Island to supply Harbour Island, and we need adequate storage on Harbour Island to run sufficient number of pumps, because people may not be aware, but Harbour Island has some hilly areas as well. And so when there's high water demand, if we don't have sufficient output going on, then what we call barracks hills and some other areas, they're the first to suffer with low pressure. So we're working through all of those issues to ensure that all of our customers across Eleuthera, and we won't leave out Current Island, because even on Current Island, we have a small desalination plant there, limited number of Bahamians, but they are also valuable customers. And so we want to ensure that all of our customers, whether they be in, like I said, John Millis and Bannerman Town, which has a limited number, Current Island, Harbour Island, Spanish Wells, Russell Island, that all of our customers are taken care of, because of, and as Ms. Albury stated, we are all preparing for the holidays. We want to spend time with family and friends. We want to get up in the morning and be able to shower, come back home from work, as she mentioned, whether you be a mechanic or a construction worker. So our customers are critical to us. And so everything we do is focused on providing quality service to all of our customers across the Bahamas, wherever they may be.
Was it a cordial meeting, or was it a meeting that told Aqua Design, listen, your days are numbered, watch it? What was that?
I think it was a productive and cordial meeting, and obviously in due course, I'm sure the government will make further announcements, but we'll leave that to the government to make in due course.
Yes. Mr. Jadaret, do you want to add anything to that meeting and what was discussed, or exactly some agreements that were made for the interim, or in the interim?
To be frank with you, that meeting was fraught with policy issues And when it comes to that, as GM Deal just indicated, that's a high-level meeting. And that right there kind of goes beyond our level. That's PS and ministerial kind of discussions. And anything that we say could run afoul of policy, and we leave that to the minister and the PS to have any say as it relates to that. And I think, as he indicated, they will make their announcements soon enough.
Mr. Deal, speak to the people of North Eleuthera, Harbour Island, Russell Island, Spanish Wells, Eleuthera, of what the commitment is fully headed into the holiday season.
Our commitment, again, as you said, Shanique, first and foremost, we want to apologize for what they have experienced from Saturday into earlier today. And our commitment is to working with all of our partners across Eleuthera, and of course, led by our staff, to ensure that we provide quality service and that all of our customers have 24/7 supply wherever they're based in Eleuthera. And that is critical to us. Like I said, we're going to be carrying out some further improvement works at the naval base to bolster supplies in central Eleuthera. And we're putting these generators, in fact, as we speak here, they are on the way to Eleuthera to bolster the security of power, because as the chairman mentioned, and you asked the question, all of the generators in Eleuthera were new. All 4 at the major critical sites were shipped there this year. In fact, the one that went out in the Bogue this weekend is a rental generator from Caterpillar, brand new. That is going to be shipped back to Nassau, so Caterpillar can examine that. We've got 2 more generators from Caterpillar, like I said, they're on the way. And so we have to work closely with BPL. We have to work closely with all of our partners, led by our staff, to ensure that our customers' supplies are met.
Well, we certainly hope that you are successful, because then that means the people of Eleuthera are happy, content, and successful as well. Thank you very much, Chairman of the Water and Sewerage Corporation, Jadoret, as well as General Manager of the Water and Sewerage Corporation, Robert Deal. Thank you both very, very much. I hope the people of Eleuthera are watching and heard something that made you feel better and have a bit more confidence that the water will remain on. The light, well, we'll talk about that another time. But thank you, gentlemen, very, very much. Don't go anywhere, because when we come back, have you ordered a phone or some sort of whatever electronic device and you are wondering, where is it? I mean, it's the 17th after all. Well, there may be something going on. The chairman of the Consumer Protection Commission, Senator Randy Roll, is here to talk about it right after this break.
Michelle. What up, y'all? It's your girl K Michelle. December the 28th, I'm going to be in the Bahamas. I'm coming to sing some songs. Yes, Bahamas. K Michelle. We gonna light some candles tonight. Very special.
Life Jennings.
Yo, what's up? Nassau, Bahamas. Life Jennings is performing December 28th.
And Jay Holiday.
Yo, what's good, man? It's me, your boy Jay Holiday. I'm going to be performing live on Saturday, December 28th.
At the Nassau Cruise Port. Early bird tickets are now available online. Powered by 103.5 The Beat. Nightlife Entertainment. Alpha Sound Promotions. Free Bands Entertainment. 242 Party and Playhouse.
See y'all. Bahamas, December 28th.
Get ready to win Lucky Bucks. Wherever you see this taxi, flag it down.
The boy hard, beating so hard, but I will be hard with what here.
I'm looking for my first contestant to ride in the Lucky Taxi. You walk in the taxi, you gotta do the Lucky Walk, bro.
Oh,
yeah. Thanks.
Man, thank you, sir. 85 times 2 is how much, brother? You only win $170, brother.
I never expected to win as much as I win.
Very excited when the gentleman picked me to ride inside the taxi.
So if I had to choose a game that would stay, it would be Island of Taxi.
You could be next on the Island Lucky Taxi.
So you want a space. But not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience, with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. Well, the Consumer Protection Commission is paying close attention to what's shaping up to be a regular practice among freight forwarders. In recent weeks, Senator Randy Roll, the Commission's chairman, has spoken out, calling attention to what boils down to a fleecing of the Bahamian people. And so what's been happening is that persons would order electronics or whatever the good is and not receive them. And then when they try to speak with the freight forwarder, they are told they must go elsewhere. And where is elsewhere? Like, where is that exactly? So, Chairman of the CPC, Senator Roll, joins me this evening. Senator Roll, good evening to you. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines. You are here to try and step in for so many people who spend huge amounts of money around this time of the year for whatever the gadget is, but are finding it quite difficult to actually get those items in. Mm-hmm. What's been happening, and how many people have been given this brush off by freight forwarders, would you say, just this holiday season and in recent weeks?
Well, Shanique, the purpose of the Consumer Protection Committee is to protect consumers against unfair practices, business practices. And as you would have stated, our office in recent months would have received a number of complaints. Certainly from individuals who would have, like I said, wanted to use some of the freight forwarders, mm-hmm. and in trying to get their supplies on time, sometimes things just don't show up or don't come. And when they try to find answers, they're given the runaround. And they would have reported it to our offices. And so we have investigators, an investigative team that take these complaints and they look into it. They try to find out where is the bottleneck, what's happening, how can we bring some resolve to a particular situation. And the act, the Consumer Protection Act, which was recently updated and amended by the government 2023, in June of 2023, it speaks to when there is a consistent practice, then it's up to us to, again, give a public advisory, mm-hmm. as to warn consumers about what can happen and what is happening, and certainly to safeguard their interests. And so that's what the Consumer Protection Committee has been doing, Commission has been doing. We wanted to, after we noticed a trend, mm-hmm. With several companies, we thought it best.
So this is almost widespread. But why do you suppose that's happening now? I mean, because there was a time they were pretty reliable, mm-hmm. but what is happening now that they are not bringing in the goods and then want to sort of direct or redirect the client elsewhere?
So it could be a number of things, Shanique. Certainly some businesses have seen an increase in volume in terms of customers, and so they're not prepared to deal with the increase. It can be some places where, because of some of the staff that they would have had here locally or in their offices in the U.S. And so there is, wherever it stems from, it's a breakdown in communication. And the consumer is only concerned about getting their goods on time.
Their hand.
Yes.
Who is ultimately responsible when you order something and mm-hmm. you know it takes about a week, perhaps, with the process and the turnaround to actually get in your home, and you don't receive that, and then who's responsible?
Again, and that is why we ask consumers to let us know when these things happen. Because if I order something, Shanique, online, and then I get a notification that says your office in Fort Lauderdale, Miami, thanks for it, then I'm expecting, and I get that notification, then I'm expecting in a couple of days to have that same package at my doorstep. And so when that does not happen, then I reach out to you. I'm saying, what is happening? What is the process? Where is my stuff that I ordered? You can't say to me, you have no idea. Certainly,
so once
it's up to you
once
to
you get
check
that
your
notification
system.
saying it's been delivered,
Correct.
then that is the property of your freight forwarder.
Correct. In most times. Now, mind you, and if it's not, if something is happening, because tampering with postal packages in the U.S. is a federal offense. And so what we've done, our team, just today, we reached out to even our consulate office in Miami. And we're saying, because if that person is no longer in the U.S. to file a complaint themselves, we're saying, listen, we want your assistance. We have some consumers who have spent lots of money, expensive money, and they're not getting these packages, nor are they getting the answers. And so what we're doing is we're telling consumers, listen, document these things. Let us know when you would have gotten that notification. Let us know if you would have reached out to the supplier. So there's a process, and once you would have gone through this process, then we are better able to assist. We're saying keep your receipts so that we have something to work with. So some documentation to say, okay, you got this, you got this package on this particular day. This is the supplier that provided it. We are now able to go step by step to see where has the problem happened. Now, if we would have checked all of this, and again, it comes up that, hey, it went missing when it was in the possession of my company, then by all means, I should be able to refund you as a consumer your funds, because it's missing.
So you mentioned that is when someone travels to the U.S., for example, makes a purchase and then obviously has it shipped over. Does it also apply if you order from here through
online?
Yes.
Yes, certainly. So it can happen either way. Again, because of the busy shipping time now it's the 17th. And so we're also saying to consumers, with Christmas being next week,
be smarter, yeah.
It's highly unlikely that you can order something anytime after the day and still get it in time for Christmas, because a lot of the businesses are going to see an increase in volume. So your expectations may be where I still have a chance. We're saying to consumers, pay attention, pay close attention.
They too have to be smart and understand.
Most definitely.
And the fact that this is the season where shipping has increased, people ordering and shipping items have increased. So chances are, it may be the new year when you get your stuff.
Right.
Like, be realistic.
So if your expectation is, listen, I'm going to send it out today to get it in time for Christmas, like I say, it could be highly unlikely. Now, I'm not, again, knocking any small businesses. As a matter of fact, we want to clarify that, listen, we encourage small businesses. We encourage it. We're not even telling you who to ship with, who to use. We're just saying to do your homework, to do your research, ask, referrals, get the most information that you can, so that once you would have done this, your chances of being scammed or your chances of your packages going missing,
yeah, you bet right,
is
and then have no recourse
less.
Exactly, is a lot less. Is this a way? And I like that the work you're doing, because it appears to be a way to bring about, even in this industry alone, in terms of that shipping industry, some regulation, some sort of accountability, like some steps where you can go there to get answers.
Right, and again, a big part of what we do at Consumer Protection is to educate the consumer. Once consumers know that this is what's happening, in the last couple of days, we've seen an increase in the numbers of persons who were able to say to us, listen, I'm experiencing the same thing. In one day, I can tell you that we had about 4 or 5 calls. Now, for many, they may say that's not much, but one package loss, Shanique, is too many for us. And so in a small country, people work hard for their monies, and they can do whatever else they want to do. The fact that they're deciding to use your company to get some items in we love online shopping. Mind you, some people decide that they're going to do retailers here as well. But we want to make sure that your experience is the best.
Absolutely. It's such an important thing that the Consumer Protection Commission is doing, because many people over the years have lost items as a result, losing money and not having anywhere to turn to try and recoup that loss, the money, the company saying they're not responsible, and that's the end of that. Right. And so it appears as though somehow, if it is proven the company is responsible, those persons could be given some sort of
yes,
return of their investment.
The Consumer Protection Act speaks to that, and it gives us power, fines and other things to be able to bring redress. There's another thing that we say is that, you know, if I order something online and it comes with a warranty, or you as the middle person decide to sell me something that you got online, and in the box, whether it's a phone or a computer, whatever, it says 6 months warranty, then that warranty now passes over. So I'm still entitled to it as a consumer. And so this is something else that the Consumer Protection Act safeguards.
So the
consumers.
middleman who figure that they are trying, you know, because we do it all the time. This is the Bahamas. Everybody is trying to be an entrepreneur. But I bring it in, I sell it to you, I'm responsible for the warranty.
Correct.
Oh, that's amazing. But it's good news, because oftentimes, well, before that, even if it was in place, it wasn't enforced. And it wasn't something that many people knew. So that's really, really good. But again, and so people who have lost, have you been able to help anybody in the last recent weeks?
Yes, I think the recovery number is good. I don't have the exact numbers on what it is to date. But I know that the Commission has experienced some 72% recovery rate in terms of even being the mediator in between persons. We want to, again, we're not just to police the provider. We hear consumers first, but we want to be the person in the middle to make sure that, again, you get the experience that you look for when shopping, whether it be online or in person.
Or in person,
yes.
Which is really awesome. You are looking at any price gouging or excessive expenses for the holiday season locally?
Most definitely. And again, we work very closely with our sister agency, which is Consumer Affairs, and a lot of it, they deal with the price control of certain items. We have a team that just today have been making their rounds because it's the season. They're in stores, they're looking out for certain things. Just a couple of weeks ago, we had an issue where we got some reports that some old age pensioners were finding outdated items in food stores. Now, what I can say though is that our collaboration with a lot of the providers have been pretty good. And once we would have brought these things to the attention of some of the providers, then they've been working with us. And so this is all we want. We want the consumer to feel safeguarded. We want them to know that, you know, you can have a shopping experience and feel good at the end of the day that, you know, it's not in vain, and what we've worked for, we're getting.
That's good. Excellent work. Keep it up. I mean, so many people on fixed incomes and low-income earners, and to know that this measure is in place that helps them make their dollar stretch longer and just make the shopping experience that much better is really awesome. Continue to do an excellent job, Chairman of the Consumer Protection Commission, Senator Randy Roll. Really, really awesome. And it's good that you all at least be able to help the majority of people who lost items be able to somehow get some recompense. And so that's really good. If not the item, then obviously some sort of cash.
Yes.
Exactly. So that's really, really awesome to hear. Thank you very much for being here and for kind of setting that out and also giving some guidelines and some do's and don'ts for this shopping season. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
I want to thank, of course, at the top of tonight's show, Quinnell Albury from Harbor Island. Also, of course, in the middle of the show, you saw the chairman of the Water and Sewerage Corporation, Jadoret, as well as the general manager, Robert Deal, here talking about the issues and the water supply on the island of Eleuthera and how they are working even now to address that. And then, of course, in this segment from the Consumer Protection Commission, Senator Randy Roll, chairman of the commission, talking about helping you make your dollar go further and also protect your dollar. So important right now. And so thank you, sir, once again for being here. And I want to thank all of you this evening for tuning in. I hope you had a great time and enjoyed tonight's show. We look forward to seeing you right back here tomorrow evening. For the entire Beyond the Headlines team, I'm Shanique Miller. Make it a great evening, everyone.